Hello, I'm Dr. Jane. I'm a psychologist. This is Knowing Narcissism. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about how you deal with a narcissistic ex. Now, I know this is going to resonate with a lot of you, so grab yourself a coffee or a tea and come and join me. So, you've been in the relationship for however long with a narcissist, and for whatever reason, you are now their ex. They undoubtedly hold grudges against you, resentments against you, because the relationship failed. Now, it could have been everything they did, it could have been 50-50, it could have been more of what you did, whatever, but it doesn't matter. As far as the narcissist is concerned, you made the relationship fail through one reason or another that you probably don't even know about, but it's in the narcissist's head that you made the relationship fail. So they hold a resentment and a grudge against that. So know that right from the beginning. Know that narcissists do not change. It's a characteristic. It might not be all singing and dancing narcissistic personality disorder, but it is a characteristic that they have, and they are not going to change. It's like asking them to change the colour of their eyes. It is just not going to happen. How they see things, how they perceive things, how they understand things, what goes on in their world is how they see it, and not the majority of people. I've often said to people in the past, when in therapy situations, you might as well, if the narcissist says that I use it as an example, that the colour of the car outside that's sitting outside is red, and it's really a black car. As far as the narcissist is concerned, it is red because that's how they see it, and then everybody else should see it. They don't change. They have their very, microscopic point of view, expect other people to actually agree with everything that they see or perceive or understand in their world. And when they don't, hey, that's why you have situations where you've become a narcissist's ex. And I'd like to say, it might not be brilliant for you, but it's probably better than still being with that narcissist. And just remember that, because, it can be a very lonely, isolating, really stressful place to be being exes. But it's probably a damn sight better than actually being with that narcissist. So know that, they won't change. If I could ask you to like, subscribe, click the notification bell, that'd be really great. It just gets videos like this out there to more people. And then more people understand about narcissists. And in this particular case, narcissist's ex. So keep your communications with a narcissist. Often when there's family involved, you've got children, there's a house or whatever, there's responsibilities. There might even be a business. I've had that in situations where narcissists are broken up and they still kind of jointly own a business. Keep communications to an absolute minimum. Know what you have to do, what they have to do, what the requirements are, say if it's a school parents' evening or something like that. But keep any communications with the narcissists to the point. They may kind of, make promises, oh yes, of course I'll be along at, little Mikey's parents' evening with his teacher. And you kind of know that that's not going to be the case because he's never done that. So in those cases, that's what's been agreed. Don't, you have to then in those situations manage the expectations of your child. Oh, is dad coming along this time? And it's really difficult, isn't it, to have to deal with your child's disappointment at the lack of involvement of one of their parents or lack of interest of one of their parents. And you can say, if they, use that as an example, hopefully they will be along, but let's just go on the strength that they may not. But what can we do? What can it do to, what can we do to make it better? And if it means, I don't know, grandpa comes along instead or something like that, so your child doesn't feel that there is absolutely no male people in their lives to find them important. Sorry, I'm saying this in a very roundabout way, but I think you know what I mean. Then have that. And then by any miracle, the ex turns up at the parent-teachers night and, your dad has come along just as support for both of you, then he can just step out and he can wait in the car and, be happy about that. But I always say with narcissists, when you're dealing with an ex particularly, have a plan A, which is the ideal, have a plan B, which you can go to, have a plan C as well, because narcissists tend to like nothing more than thinking, oh, you're in control of a situation. So if you're in control of a situation, that means that I'm not in control of a situation. And I don't like that because I'm a narcissist and I have to have uber control at all times. So what can I do to scupper that? And even if it's damaging to my own children, I will still do that because it gives me a sense of control. So always remember that. So have your plan A, the ideal, have your plan B, your absolute go-to, have a plan C. And sometimes I've had situations with people when they're dealing with exes, especially when it's around children, that they've even had to have a plan D, but they've got their plans in place. And then that way they are not just kind of like the rabbit in the headlights of not knowing what to do when what they think is going to happen isn't going to happen because the narcissist is pulling one of their kind of usual strokes. So, have your plans. Keep communications to the point, so don't go off as well. They will, remember they're grudge holders, sulkers, to Olympic standards, and they probably will try and be abusive towards you. And I've had situations where they've tried to get children to be abusive towards another. Oh, you'll have a child come back and they're a bit confused or a bit sullen or a bit quiet. And you might say, oh, what's the matter? And, they've been fed something by the narcissist or the narcissist's family, that's not unusual, about you that's negative. And that poor child has to make sense of that. And it's a conflict, of course, because, you're their parent that they love and they live with, and yet they're being told something very negative about it. But the thing to do is not to instantly counter that with what was probably likely factual evidence. Allow the child to kind of look, we'll talk about this, perhaps we'll talk about it a little bit later. In the meantime, we're going to do something completely different and divert them from that. And often, if they want to have that type of conversation with you, they'll do it kind of in the most odd places. They're literally, doing the washing up or doing something really mundane. And they might just say that thing a few weeks later. Oh, when I was with, the parent that I don't live with anymore, and it could be a dad, it could be a mum, it can be both. Oh, they said that you did this to them. And you can then have the conversation about, well, that's not entirely true. This is the situation. But the last thing you ever want to do, which the narcissist does want to do, is cause that conflict between you and the child, because the narcissist then just gets in there and, oh, look, aren't I the good parent? I'm the one that comes along and, we do all fun things all the time together, and it's your mum's fault that we've broken up because, I don't know why, but she went off on one. And, you'll have all those kind of things said to children to weaponize them against you, but don't put it on to the child, because they will thank you in years to come. Seriously, again, I've dealt with adults of narcissistic warring parents, or one's been a narcissist, and they said, but my mum was consistent with how she responded to me and let me kind of calm down and work it out for myself, or did something that was distracting when it was appropriate to do. So, abuse will come in all manner and all types, so just be kind of ready for it, but don't accept it. Obviously, limit your interactions with a narcissist. Again, I've had situations where people have broken up with a narcissist has gone off with somebody else. That's broken down. It happens quite a lot. And then it's like, oh, let me come back in your life. Oh, I've had second thoughts about it. Oh, perhaps, I was a bit rash. Not I was wrong. They'll often say, I was a bit rash about this. And then it'll be, well, and just don't go there. Okay, just do not go there. You've broken up with a narcissist. That is a good thing. So don't try and go back to them, and just limit your interactions with them, because if you give them an inch, they will take the metaphorical narcissistic mile. When it comes to their family and friends, expect kind of abuse and the good old flying monkeys that have been the narcissist's enablers. Of course, they put all their energies and interest into the narcissist, especially if they come from their family. So of course they're going to be the ones that are going to be throwing the accusations and brickbats at you. So know that might happen. I often say to people, kind of be ready for something. Don't be paranoid about things, but be ready for things. And then that way, If the worst happens, you're ready for it. If it doesn't happen, it's just a bonus. So when you've broken up with a narcissist, they become your ex, and then you're getting kind of, passive aggressive comments, things written in Christmas cards and birthday cards. Again, I've seen that with people. And just know that's coming, and what you do to deal with that, which is just, if you can, and it has no effect on you or your children, just ignore it. Typical kind of situations where you've had people have broken up. One family member will then use the money from their potential inheritance against you to say, well, if you don't do this, then the children aren't going to benefit from it. And so which is I know the whole concept of moneyed family succession and etc. etc. But it's a form of control. So think about that. Obviously, you don't want to see your children going without, but then at the same time, what is the cost of adhering to what the narcissist a couple of generations back might be demanding? So just have a think about that. But always get your help. Talk to friends, talk to your family, talk to people that are trusted. If you don't have anybody and you're genuinely so isolated for whatever reason, then make sure that you look at videos like this and chat rooms. There's plenty of stuff out there, and just see what other people have done. It is so illuminating, because when you're in that situation and you're terrified and anxious and stressed, you become blinkered, and it's sometimes so hard to see what is often kind of in your face, which is logical, because of the stress and the anxiety that you're so used to when you used to be with a narcissist. So, and remember, always remember, they are your ex. You just have to deal with them. And remember that the narcissist won't change. They won't change how they think about you. They won't change, even if evidence says whatever it is they think about you, and then there's evidence to point that out that wasn't the truth. Just know that that's how they think, and that's what you're dealing with. If you think about you're dealing with a petulant 8-year-old child in your narcissistic ex, I think that might be useful for you, because then that way you can kind of have your communications and your involvement as you would with a petulant 8-year-old child, and ultimately kind of leave them to it if that's the thing to do. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been useful for you. Again, if I could ask you to like, subscribe and click the notification bell, and we'll just get this video out to loads more people. People have a lot of problems with narcissistic exes, and put in comments below what was useful to you as well. That would be really useful as well. But there is stuff that you can do, and sometimes the doing nothing is the stuff that you can do in some cases, but there's always something you can do to make it better for you and make it better for your family. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.